In today's video, we explore how this man started from absolutely nothing and went on to build a multi-billion-dollar empire. Wooden houses lined the hillsides of the mountains. Farmers worked the land growing rice, and the nearest big city was hours away. This was the world that Chung Ju-yung was born into in 1911. But his life would change dramatically after the Japanese occupation and then World War II. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you stories of the most influential people in history. So when the war ended and the country needed to be rebuilt, Chung found himself in a great position. While he was waiting for the steel mill to come online, he took on another huge project, the construction of the Gyeongju Dam. It was one of the largest construction projects ever undertaken in South Korea at the time. And when it was completed in 1968, it earned Hyundai its first international award. But Chung had bigger plans. He wanted to export cars to the United States. This success allowed Chung to pursue his lifelong dream of becoming a shipbuilder. In 1972, he had visited Europe and seen the large ships being built there and thought to himself that he too could build ships. He introduced a number of new models of cars and pushed Hyundai into new markets. He also focused on philanthropic efforts, donating millions of dollars to schools, hospitals, and charities. We see footage of his funeral and see a grieving nation mourning the loss of its father. We hear stories from those who worked with him and remember him as a strong leader who demanded excellence and pushed his employees to be their best. So he started Hyundai Heavy Industries and began producing cargo ships. We will see some beautiful shots of the Hyundai buildings, the car factories, and the shipyards. There will be a voiceover reflecting on Chung's life and accomplishments. As the video comes to a close, we will see footage of Chung overlooking a shipyard or skyline. Finally, there will be an inspiring quote from Chung on screen. The quote is, "The miracle is not that I finished. The miracle is that I had the courage to start." The company quickly grew and became one of the world's largest shipbuilders. You can also check out some of our other videos. To do this, he knew he needed to improve the quality of his cars, so he invited American engineers to his factories to observe and learn. However, the economic crash of 1997 almost brought the company down. The Asian financial crisis led to a loss of $4 billion for you. The company survived by selling off many of its assets and laying off thousands of workers. Although it was a bitter pill to swallow, Chung knew that this was necessary to keep the company alive. He paid back every cent of the emergency loans taken out during the crisis. This was crucial to Hyundai's survival. He also sent his best employees to study in the U.S. with renewed focus on quality. Hyundai started exporting cars to America in 1986. A few years later, the Ford Taurus was released and it was a hit. He lived to see his company grow into a global powerhouse. Hyundai now employs 250,000 people and has annual sales of over $200 billion. They are the 7th largest company in South Korea and the 32nd largest in the world. Hyundai had arrived on the American market. Seeing that Hyundai had proven itself capable of constructing dams, the Korean government offered them the opportunity to construct a series of 5 new dams. It was a massive project that would take years to complete, but it was exactly the kind of challenge that Chung was looking for. He had experience, connections, and cash, and he was ready to take advantage of the situation. With a population boom and a need for housing, in 1969, Chung founded the Hyundai Merchant Marine to transport materials for his construction projects. He also saw an opportunity in automobiles and founded Hyundai Motor Company in 1976. His goal was to make affordable cars for ordinary Koreans. The first Hyundai car rolled off the assembly line in 1978, but these early cars were UNT particularly good. They were based on older Ford models from the 1960s, and they suffered from poor quality control. Despite this, Chung knew that Hyundai would become a successful automaker in the future. Chung started building more apartment complexes. These were in much higher demand than expected, and he was soon expanding his company and taking on larger projects. Hyundai was now one of the largest companies in South Korea, But Chung wasn't done yet. He wanted to be a global player. By 1964, Hyundai had become the leading construction company in South Korea. At age 17, Chung moved to Seoul to escape the poverty of his rural hometown. He got a job in a small construction company doing manual labor for around $12 a month. Around this time, he changed his name from Chung Tae-won to Chung Ju-yung. The name change symbolizes his ambition to be someone new and to build a new future for himself. He was willing to work hard, save money, and start a business. And so at age 24, he quit his job, called all the major construction companies, Seoul, and asked if they could pay him a lump sum of $375 for 2 months of work up front. They agreed, and Chung used this money to start his own company. He called it Hyundai Construction. He borrowed an excavator and hired some friends from the pub. He was ready to make his fortune. Join us as we explore the incredible life of Chung Ju-yung, the man who literally built South Korea. In the early 1900s, South Korea looked like something out of a historical drama. We see images of bombed-out cities, a devastated South Korea, and a young Chung Ju-yung working in a factory. But what he hadn't anticipated was just how difficult it would be to run a construction company. Over the next few years, things went well, and he even won a contract to help build Gimpo Airport. But when his partners wanted to expand into cement production, which was much more profitable than construction, he realized he couldn't afford to join them. So he left the company and went back to being a construction worker. For 3 years, he worked on projects around Seoul, saving every penny until finally in 1953, he started Hyundai Construction with 20 million Korean won or 2,000 US dollars. His first project was a low-budget apartment complex, but it was well-made and well-received. He continued to work hard, taking on small projects and saving his money. When the Korean War broke out in 1950, he paused his business and volunteered as a medic. While war can be devastating, it also creates opportunity. But Chung was never satisfied with where he was. He always wanted more. So in 1967, he expanded Hyundai into steel production. As the projects continued, so did Jung's growth. Throughout this time, Chung continued to push forward. In 1978, he founded Hyundai Electronics, and later that year, the company went public. In 1982, Chung decided to take his company global. Hyundai started by exporting to neighboring Japan. By the end of the 1980s, Hyundai had become a household name around the world. They produced high-quality cars at affordable prices. As the 1990s approached, Chung was close to completing his vision of an entire industry under the Hyundai brand. With the company saved, Chung set about expanding again. At age 76, Chung stepped down as chairman of Hyundai, but remained active in the company and continued to oversee its operations. Today, we look at photos of Chung Ju-yung and see a smiling old man who looks back on a life well lived. Now let's take a moment to look at the legacy of Chung Ju-yung. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and leave a like.